Okay, so to install Google Chrome Remote Desktop, open up Google Chrome. Up in the search bar, go ahead and just type in Remote Desktop. Once you type in Remote, usually it'll pop down to Remote Desktop. Open that up. You'll see the top option, Chrome Remote Desktop. Go ahead and click on that. This will take you to the app page for Google Chrome, and you should have the Add to Chrome button. Go ahead and click there. Once you've clicked there, go ahead and allow or accept or add about anything that pops up. It'll take you through the setup process. You'll see at the bottom there it'll show it downloading to your computer. Once that is completed, it will pop up and allow you to start the setup process for Google Chrome Remote Desktop. Now once it does complete setting up, it'll open up a new tab. It should do that here in just a second. If it's the first time you're loading it, it might also download some new software. Open up the Chrome Remote Desktop, which is the two blue squares, and allow access to your computer. And then once you open it, go in, you will see the computers that are loaded with Google Chrome Remote Desktop. As you can see, I have several that are already set up, and you can allow access to any of these once they're set up. So you have to set up on each computer individually. If it's the first time, you will set up your own PIN number, use a phone number, room number, something simple to remember. And then you just click on whatever computer you want to sync to, and it pops up with that computer's desktop. Now you have some options here at the top. The little blue tab is your screen options. Once you go up to the top there, you'll see the different sizes. You can do full screen, and this will allow you to view it as if you were on that computer for full screen, and you'll have controls of that computer. And you can see me here just moving around the computer, and this is my home desktop at my house, and I'm using my Mac. And you can see I can click on things, I can manipulate, I can use the programs from that computer. So if my Mac doesn't have Office, I can use Office from the computer. Now the other handy thing is you can open more than one computer at a time. So I go back in, open a new tab, and then I can open my laptop from my house. So I type in the PIN again, whatever PIN you set up for each one. You can set up different ones or use the same. And then again, you can see this is my Toshiba at my house, my laptop. So now I have my laptop on one tab and my home computer on one tab. And it's an internet window, so you can also downsize the internet window. You can open up however many you set up. You can open up as many as your bandwidth will allow you to do. And I can see you can also open up your own computer. If you're teaching Infinity, it's something interesting that I'll show you. And it'll just mirror itself over and over again. And then again, like I said, it is an internet window, so you can downsize it if you want to go back to your desktop. And you can do whatever you want on your Mac, and then you can just open Chrome back up and you're back on, this is my home laptop or my home computer. So it's an easy way to do the Chrome. Okay, so I've already shown you how to get to the Chrome Remote Desktop and how to download the Doceri. This is what it looks like. From the iPad, you go into your App Store, type in Doceri up at the top, search button over here, and that's what's going to look like you install it. Of course, I've already installed it. On your computer desktop up here, doceri.com, you go over to Downloads, and then scroll down and install whether you need the Mac operating or the Windows, whichever you need. Do keep in mind that the software for the computer costs about $30 for a license. Hopefully you have a classroom fund or your administration will approve that $30. And then one other thing you will need to run a desktop on Doceri is a Wi-Fi adapter, because the iPad and the computer do need to be on the same Wi-Fi network. So you need a little adapter. I just bought this little USB one from Amazon for about $3, and I set a link up to that in the diagram I made for you guys. Alright, so getting started, go into your iPad. Doceri, once you download it, usually it stays running in the background, and you'll know by the little green thing at the bottom of your tray down here. If not, you can go to Start, Programs, it's usually the bottom one or the last one you loaded, and then go ahead and turn on the Doceri desktop. Once you do that, go to your iPad and hit Doceri. Now you can see I have two computers on here, my Mac of course, and then my school computer. So now it's getting the screen there. Alright, and this is the same screen that you can see up here is my iPad is mirroring, but it can also control, so you can see down here where I touch that, it goes ahead and pops it up, but it also does it on the smart board. Now what's cool about that is when I go over in here and do my Google Drive, and you can see the computer's doing the exact same thing. It does make a little blip on your cursor, but it's minimal distraction. You can go to my math lessons, Patricia's lunch, and this is one of my presentations that I made touch sensitive. And this is cool because you can use the smart board or the iPad to advance the program. So on this one, you know, my first fact for this story would be the dollar bill, so I can touch anywhere on here. It's not going to go forward until I touch the dollar bills, and it'll go forward, and you can see it highlights it. Now if I go to my smart board, it's the same way. My next fact's going to be the $5.89. I can touch a sandwich, it's not going to do a thing. Once I touch $5.89, boom, goes to the next one, and then the dollar bills. This is good because some students have the ability to get up and down to interact with the smart board. Some students it's a little harder, and you can carry the iPad over towards them. And it makes it a little easier for maneuverability, especially in classrooms that might have wheelchairs or anything like that, to just carry the iPad over, and they're essentially controlling the smart board from the iPad. And as you can see, they have to touch the appropriate spots to get it to advance and to go to the next slides. And they would just work through it like that. The other cool thing about this is it also has a overlay like the smartboard. Like if you picked up the smartboard pen, how you draw on the smartboard, you can also draw on the iPad, and it shows up on the smartboard. Now, since it is mirroring the desktop, if I pick up this pen, it does erase that because it creates a new overlay and draws on it. You can see my drawing there. Now it kicked me out of drawing mode for that. And I'll close drawing mode here. Alright, so the smartboard pins don't interact with Doceri because it is an overlay on the actual smartboard, not with the computer screen. But it's pretty cool that it does interact with this. When you draw on the smartboard, it does, or the iPad, it does show up on the smartboard, but not vice versa. So this is one way to use the Doceri with the smartboard and the desktop. Now there's another way to do this, and what I typically do is use my MacBook as a interim, kind of. And what I do here is I will go to my computer, open a new tab, go to the Chrome remote that I showed you guys, and go to my Mac, enter my PIN that you would set up when setting up. I use phone numbers, room numbers, whatever you can remember. Alright, now you're seeing my Mac. Here at the top, there's your options. You can make it go screen options and full screen so you see my whole Mac. And then I can pull this out of the way so it's not distracting anything. Alright, now my Mac, you can see my Mac and my PC look exactly the same. So through here, now I have my Mac controlling my computer, and I can go on Doceri as well and mimic my Mac. So now I have 3 machines that I can go to advance my slideshow. Alright. And since my PC is controlling my Mac, the smartboard will still interact as well. And let's try one more. My other computer here. Now this is my other iPad. So it does seem a little smaller because I'm going through 3 other machines to do this, but it should advance all 4 of my machines. So I can have 2 iPads, smartboard computer, and my Mac all on the same slideshow, and they all can be interactive as far as touching. Now the drawing part of it, let's see. If I'm in drawing mode with this one, it will show up on all 3 because it's the main iPad that I connected through my Mac. This one is just connected through my PC, so it should just show up on my PC or my PC with smartboard and that one because that's all it's connected to. So this iPad will connect to all 3 machines, and including my Mac, where this iPad is only connected to the smartboard. So it's a little bit unique as far as what you have to do to get them to connect, but it's definitely worth it when you can have 4 students doing one project at the exact same time. And the other cool thing this Doceri offers is this whiteboard. So if you're in a presentation and you're like, oh, I need to do something real quick, you can pop up a whiteboard real quick and do a problem or an example or draw something. And again, it will show up on all 4 displays as long as you're using Doceri. Like I said, I use my MacBook Pro as the interim, so my PC is mirroring my MacBook. My iPad is also mirroring my MacBook, but they can all 3 control each other. And then my 4th iPad is mirroring my PC, which will allow me to control the presentation, but won't allow me to control the drawings, only just the iPad and the smartboard. So that is my interactive display that I can use multiple devices. It's a little extra work to set up, but it's definitely worth it in the long run.